Hello and welcome everybody. Here is League of Europe, a pre-season race for getting us finally started. Obviously, Lobby 1 and Lobby 3 have had their respective races earlier today, and now it's time for Lobby 2 and Lobby 4 to get on track here at France. One of the two pre-season races here today, or this season anyway. Next one in Miami next week. We have 19 drivers, a few missing out. Maybe some new drivers that haven't been notified properly. We'll get that sorted next week anyway. It looks like we're going to have 19 drivers on the grid, and it's going to be very interesting following last week's Austria social race, how the pace is going to be this time out. Obviously a bit more real. We're looking at the drivers' placements. Some drivers might be pushing the limits here. We'll have to see as we get underway into qualifying. Just the normal format, short qualifying, 50% race, and we are going to get underway. Obviously completely dry, no damages on. Doesn't excuse bad driving standards, but it's just to make sure we can get everyone's pace done. And well, looking at this grids, mostly familiar names. I saw Kevin Cow, I think he was in Lobby 2 last week out. He's a new driver to the league. A few returnees with Slayer, hasn't been here in ages. It's obviously last week Crack as well. It's battling nicely. Has some 4 wide moments as well on the straight, which was very interesting. And we're going to see how that's going to fare this time out. Just getting things up. I tried to adjust the spectator cam for the people that have been asking. I haven't found out how to yet. I think that's just a bit of a game thing that I can't really adjust too much. We'll have to see. So I'm just going to adjust the sound a slight bit, just to get everything sorted out and not be deafened by the engines of the cars. That should be a lot better now. Personally, I'm gonna see who's first out on track. We've seen Aston Martin, which is Major Falcon. He had a decent social race sometime out. I think he actually finished in second place, if I wasn't mistaken in that sense. I see him mostly softs, obviously. I'm gonna see how he's gonna fare here. Obviously, France is a very balanced track. This is obviously why we've chosen it for a pre-season race as well. It just makes the most sense. We'll have to see how he's going to fare and everyone else is going to fare around this power car circuit. 15 corners, a lot of medium speed corners, a few slower ones. Think of turn 5, very difficult traction zone into 6 as well. And the last corner is quite a slow one as well, so we're going to ride on board actually with the Aston Martin as he's coming down in towards that final corner. As you can see, hairpin right-hander. Gonna hide that UI for a little bit. The DRS is open. Actually, I'll show it just to see if he's invalid anywhere. And he's gonna start his lap heading up towards turn 1. Pretty quick corner. Head down in 4th gear up the 5th mid corner into 6 there on the exit. As we head down towards turn 3, 4 and 5. You go very quick into 3. And then you go slower into 4. And you go even slower into 5. As it's progressing all the way down to the sector 1 split. 20-4 is actually not too bad from the German here. Heading down through turn 7 this time. DRS is open for the second time. Hopefully the pit straight is the other point here. We get some DRS and another overtaking opportunity down to turn 11, which we'll get to in a second as he's heading down in towards turn 8 and 9. Bit shabby on the entry, a few corrections, but it doesn't look too bad here for the Aston Martin. Go off board, let's see what the split time is. 50.3, definitely not bad. Gonna have to see if that is gonna maintain itself throughout the final sector. Then down into turn 11. It can be a nice overtaking spot if you get it right. And then you head down into turn 12 here. Different lines you could take for this corner. You can open it up quite tightly or quite wide. But there's a lot of different opportunities there. Heading for 13 now, 14 to left. Long corners, it's gonna work a lot on the tires. And now opening up towards the start finish line here. DRS open again. And down towards the line at 130.5. Definitely nothing too bad, too shabby to start off with. Ryan B 1291. There's 2 Ryan B's in this lobby, so come Ryan Belshaw. So that's how he was previously known by. Just to fair with the confusion a bit. But 29.8 is a very solid time actually from him. IIT Crack with a 30.5, J Hinks 30.7. The other Ryan B on a 30.9 here. So looking for one of the halves to cross the line. I think he's invalid. Potentially one of the Alfa Romeos. That's just California starting a lap. And Kevin Cowell jumping up to a 30.6. So heading down towards Energetics, who's also just about to start a lap, I think. Just looking around, Eagles Mats across the line, 30.8. So this looks all quite close together so far. Apart from Ryan B at the top then. United Bosnia across the line, 31.1. Just a tiny bit off the rest of this pack. Aston Martin across the line, just turning a lap, might be Swip. At 30.9 that was, but it might have been invalid. So it doesn't appear on the timing list, so that's unfortunate for him. But, good to know he's around his beloved teammate probably. If they do get in the same division. Harry Noirk, 31.6, bit off the pace so far. Might have made a mistake, we'll have to see. Slayer just starting a lap as well here. Coming towards turn 1. I'm just gonna right on board with Swip. Actually, he is invalid. Energetics potentially. 50.3 is pretty close to what Major Falcon was doing. Actually, I think it's a tiny bit quicker, if not mistaken. So I'll have to see if for the final sector, Energetics can maybe gain some time and get himself into that second place position here in Power Car 14. Looks all quite tidy, bit better I think than Major Falcon went through there, but maybe not using as much of the track as the McLaren is heading down towards the line. I think saw an improvement, but I might have been missing that. California was a 31.4, Energetics 30.5, 200 between second and fourth here, because of quite a close and fairly contested occasion here at France. We'll have to see if the other drivers, a bunch of just not to the lap time, potentially validating the laps. Looking at Jav, he definitely has. And looking around, Slayer I think is on the lap as well, 51 flat. Pretty impressive. Axel is a Haas. No, that's Harry Noirk who's just coming back into the pit, so we'll see how Slayer, the Dutchman, so he hasn't been here last season, but the season before he was here. I think he was in D3 if I wasn't mistaken here. So see a little bit of an improvement for Harry Noirk. He didn't actually go into the pits instead of 31.2. So on the second lap on the tyres, that's actually not too bad. 31.4 for the AlphaTauri, just slotting in behind California, closely contested once again. Looking around Axel, he's now actually on the lap. So we'll see if he can fare. He's quite low in ERS, which suggests to me is not his first lap on these tyres. He's still burning it, so I think he's trying to end this one on the high. Let's see as he's heading for the final corner. One of the Ferraris there on the inside just has to get out of the way. And that's quite well doing that actually. The second Greek in this lobby obviously next to Harry Noirk, 32.4. I think there's an improvement in that for him, I would suggest. Although Swip is on the mediums actually, surprisingly. I think of the rest, apart from Jav, are on the softs. So I'm gonna have to have a look if Swip can get himself among the times, and have a reminder that even if he sets a time that's not right at the top, he still has some improvement in there if he goes onto the soft later. DRS is open for the Aston Martin, so let's see if he can improve on what is not a time. A 31.9, honestly, for the mediums, that's not too bad. Don't exactly know what the delta is, haven't really tested out, but I think it'll be around half a second at the very least, so at least on a flying first lap. Steban, also another one has into the lap. Yeah, it said he's purple sector 1, so let's see if that is going to be the case. And if he's going to be on a quick lap then towards this chicane actually, into turn 8 and 9. Let's see. Flying it in there. Quite nice commitment here from the Dutchman as he's opened up the throttle once again. Let's see where he comes out with his split time. 49.9, that's not too bad actually. 4 tenths under the time of Energetics at the very least, and Falcon as well. So he can get himself up here and maybe then into P2 even potentially. If he could even challenge Ryan Belshaw to the top, then That'll even be better for the Alpine, but this looks like a fairly solid lap actually for the Dutchman. Opening up the throttle once again, coming down towards turn 13 and into 14. So he's taking quite a tight line, but attacks that corner quite nicely into 15 and open up the throttle. This could be a 29. Is he going to be able to beat the Red Bull of Ryan Belshaw so far though? As Ultimate Mr. Puro has actually joined. Yes, he can. Steban as a 29.7 has now beaten that time. So yeah, good time from him. And have to see if he can hold on to that. That's quite a surprising one, if I'm going to be honest, given how last season went for him, which was amazing, I think. Looking around, Jordan is another one who is yet to set a last time. We'll keep an eye on him. Rainbow shows slightly up his time. I was looking at the other Red Bull. Kevin down this time, but maybe he can find some time in that last sector. As he's rejoined Ultimate Mr. Puro. Let's hope he can get there. A bit of a slide in the exit there for the Aston Martin. That's going to be very tough. It's still an improvement. Let's see, across the line. No, 31.1. He's lost quite a lot of time there. And yeah, that's unfortunate to see. And yeah, we'll have to see if anyone else can break this time. Jordan, we're going to have a look at 50.3 split time. So someone else improve his de facto teammate Ryan B 1994 up into third place with a 30 flat. So that's a very solid time. He got to coast attack just to maybe get it away. Not too sure. Looking at Jav here. It's the end of start of his lap actually. So I guess we'll look at Jordan now across the line. Is he going to be able to put himself amongst the top guys? A 30.3. It's a very solid time for the Mercedes. Puts him into P4 so far. 7 minutes left in this session, so we'll see a lot of the second runs coming in, obviously. And looking around, hopefully Ultimate Mr. Puro can get in the car if he's listening in. He can definitely do that. Just looking around. If anyone is going to be able to improve. I saw United Bosnia has actually jumped into 4th position, but then IRT Crack also jumps into 4th position and retakes that for the AlphaTauri driver. And seeing a slight bit of improvement there for Kevin Cal as well, as he jumps into 7th position with Major Falcon just off the road here with one of the AlphaTauris. I think one of the Miss Mercs is just coming back in as well. So I think it's time to look at Jav. Let's see, he's on a valid lap, which, given his usual driving, is no offense, but you know he doesn't like to qualify very well. So we'll see if he can improve. He likes France as a preseason track, though. We've heard this before. Let's see. Open up the throttle. DRS open as well. Can he get himself amongst the top 10 potentially? 132.1 is not going to cut that so far, but 16th place. I'll have to see if he can improve later on. Axel just coming back into the pits as well. So most drivers will be preparing for the final runs, I'd imagine so. I think Swift might be on the lap here. Now he's just about to start one. So Ivo is on the mediums just in behind that. Looking at Swift. Open up the throttle. Let's actually go on board with him. Might be a good break in between the sessions. In between the runs, because he is choosing a different timing to actually go for his lap. He heads through 1 and 2, staying away from the curbs a little bit, but nice and safe for the Aston Martin. He heads down towards turn 3, open up the throttle, a lot of speed carried through there, but he's going to cut that one just a bit too tightly there into turn 4, which is unfortunate, because that turn 3 looks actually very nice, even if it's just one corner, has to be said. Have a look at Ultimate Mr. Puro as well. He's going to be towards the start of his lap. It's the same as Ghost Recon, the only two not to have set times yet. And that is unfortunate. See if they can now set a time that is going to get themselves among the top guys. We're seeing the American and the Finnish drivers just about to start their laps, respectively. I'm just going to have a look if Slayer is potentially on a lap. I think he's just about to start one as well. So 3 drivers, a bit out of sync. And we'll keep an eye on all of them as much as we can, obviously. Energetics, I think, is towards the end of his lap as well. I'm looking at the American first, though, as we're on board with him down towards turn 3. And nice commitment, but that is a bit too much commitment as he invalidates that inside line a bit too much. And that's going to revolve his attempt. If he gets back in the pits and gets out another time, he can get another lap going. Slayer 22.4, very solid opening sector. Gonna have a look at the Finnish driver in behind as well. 23 flat, bit behind, but we'll have to see if he's gonna get back. He's not league racing ages as far as I'm aware. So it might be a bit of time to get used for him as the Dutchman goes over turn 8 and turn 9. Aggressively turning in there. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to challenge the top guys. 50.7. I reckon he's on course to maybe get towards Energetics time if his last sector is good, as one of the mechanics is actually up ahead. That is Ghost Recon. Let's hope he is getting out of the way. I think he should be. But this is not helping, of course, because of the Dutchman. From poor him, he's getting very tight now. The climb does need to go over, and the spin is there for Slayer. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that was very aware from the American there. Could have been a lot better. Ultimate Mr. Burrow, 50.9 is not too bad actually, as he heads through turn number 14 and now into 15. Clips the inside curb. It's not something I'd advise to do, but let's see. Maybe he can get himself still on a decent time. He heads across the line. A 31 flat, puts him into P12 so far. And it's not too shabby so far for his first run. I think a lot of time is still left in the first sector. As we're seeing 2.5 minutes ago, and most drivers are heading out for their laps. I think Ryan B1291 is about to start one. And yeah, we'll have to see if this is gonna be Steban's pole position or anyone else's, because yeah, Steban's lap is very, although not to disrespect him in any way, but got someone that was at the front a lot last season, and now he's managed to, you know, put in a very solid lap here. I'll have to see if that's gonna fare out in the future. Energetics just about to start a lap as well. I think he was invalid on his first run, so might be a second lap on the tires for the McLaren right there. We'll have to see. Axel again, I think he's in the same boat. And one of the Alpha Tauris as well, just about to start one IAT crack. We've seen a lot of drivers just starting a lap. Ryan Belshaw has actually invalidated his time, so he's gonna have to go again, and he's not right on it right now. Let's have a look at Ghost Recon. He's actually coming towards the end of his lap, so that might be the last drive to set a final lap, or his first lap time. Let's see if the American can get himself among the top guys. Not quite. 32.3. Yeah, lost quite a lot of time, I think, in the final sector as well. It's a very difficult sector to nail. There's a lot of weird lines you have to take for certain corners, so yeah, it's quite understandable. Jay Hinks heading through turn 1. The Alfa Romeos, I think that's Ultimate Mustapuro. I think he's trying to go for another lap potentially. See, 46.6 is obviously not the best lap you'll ever see. Swip is just coming out. I think he might be too late given that. Actually, no, he's just, yeah, he's coming out, but that's gonna be too late. He heads across to avoid the Mercedes going there. Just cut across the track. He's gonna have to do a lot of cutting. Does he want to do that? I don't think he's gonna make that in any scenario. Let's look at Ecos Matt. I think he's toward the end of the time. No, it's the other Williams with Gas. He's just about to start one as well, so his lap times will be coming in very soon. Energetic going to improve into P6. One of the Alfa Romeos across the line of California not improving. One of the Haas drivers, I think that's Harry Newark, into P8 now. With a 30.5. The other Haas of Axel into 30.9. And a lot of drivers coming across the line. RIT Crack puts himself in P2. Very solid time from, I don't know what nationality is, forgive me. Kevin Cole, I think, just about to start another lap as the flag has now gone out. We're going to have a look at Jordan across the line, P5, 30.2. Solid time right there. As I think that's now Ecos Mass this time out. Across the line, 3.5 tenths up. Into P9. Lots of bit of time in the final sector potentially. Jay Hinks at P11, 30.5. It's all fairly close amongst these guys. As looking at Ghost Recon just retired in the pits. Ultimate Mr. Puro is 5 tenths up. Despite having not that much ERS, so solid time for the Finnish driver. Incoming, 31.3, maybe lost some time in the final end and not improving. Major Falcon not improving. Swip is going to be done. I think that's just an AI car, unfortunately, blocking Ryan B 1994, which has solidified him in P4. Yeah, it's just a case of going out late, and if you then don't make it, the AI takes over your car. I think that might be it for this session. Energetics toward the end of the lap, but he's not really looking like he's going to improve, I think. Esteban, is he meant to improve? No, he's off track, so that's definitely not going to be an improvement. California, coming across line B is invalid. 31.5 wouldn't have mattered too much anyway. And I think that's going to be it. So that's run on the second run from Esteban has actually put himself into pole position here for the French Grand Prix. And yeah, not too bad of a time actually. Seen IAT crack with a P2. Solid time from him as well, 29.7, 29.8 for Ryan B, and a full Ryan B lockout for the second row, as the other one has put himself into 30 flat, not to disrespect. But let's see who wins that battle out in the race as well. It's really not all about quality pace. And Jordan, last season's D4 champion, right ahead of United Bosnia, making a return. It looks to be on some solid pace. Energetics in P7 and Kevin Cal in P8. Ecos Mats and Heiner Work rounding up the top 10. Jings and Major Falcon. Major Falcon have had a very good early time, but beyond that, hasn't been able to improve. And that's why he finds himself a bit lower down. Potentially some invalid laps. But it's all very close, so potentially that in the race he can manage them. As we see another Aston Martin in AI also barging into him. Jav in P13, actually a very solid time from the Spanish driver. With a Greek next to him in P14. He's going to feel very Mediterranean there. To Alfa Romeo look out for the 8th row of Ultimate Mr. joining late. California in P16. And it was Slayer and Swift making for an old Dutch 9th row. With, I believe, Ibo in the last place. And I kind of forgot what P19 was, I've got to be honest. Which we'll check out now. We're going to have a look in this section. That was Ghost Recon, actually. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But that does make sense. I'm stumbling over my words, but that happens every now and then, doesn't it? Yeah, another close look at your qualifying grid here. And that is, yeah, a very solid qualifying. Very close together, actually. Closer than I may have expected. Which the game does seem to offer a little bit. I wonder what Swift would have done if he managed to go onto the softs and get a valid lap in. And I think a lot of drivers got a bit of a glitch here. Yeah, let's see. As we're heading down towards the race, which should be an interesting one. Now, in theory, this race should technically be a one-stop. I don't think there's any question in that. But, you know, the tires do tend to fall very quickly in this game. Especially around this track. You know, a lot of long corners. It's going to see how the drivers manage to fare with that. But yeah, we'll have to see what kind of one-stop. I think even if you want to, there's some drivers in Lobby 3 I heard that did use the softs for, 10 laps. I wouldn't advise it, but, it's a possibility. The hards and mediums are very, very much usable, and I think we'll rather see a combination of those tires as a one-stop. But who knows? I should inform you, the formation lap will be off, so we'll go for the tires at some point later on, as I can't, immediately do that. So for any notes for the drivers listening in, formation lap is still off. We'll go straight into it just because of the many glitches together with it. As I don't see a countdown, unfortunately, just yet. But there we go. As 5 red lights are going to come on. And lights, and away we go. See Esteban on the front row, getting a very good start on the mediums. And is through immediately into turn 1. As he is going to hold on to his lead. Ryan Belshaw has managed to nab the P2 from IIT. Crack into Ryan B and Jordan, the two Mercs there together. Energetic in P6 with Kevin Cal in P7 just following in behind. As I'm just going to bring up the tires here right now. A lot of variation we're seeing. A few softs at the back. Muscle medium is hard, so seeing some yellow flags as Harry Newark at the back spinning around. As he's had some sort of incident, definitely. But Esteban has already gone 1.1 seconds to the Red Bull of Ryan B. As IIT Crack is looking to get that P2 back off the Red Bull now. They're heading down towards turn 8. Is he going to be able to take that one? Yes, he is. And a very good move from the Alpha Tower. Let's see if he can stay with Esteban in any sort of way. Or that Dutchman is just going to drive away. Ryan B looking to get back at him potentially here, looking towards the outside and the inside, and just can't get through here at this point. Energetic looking at the back of Jordan as well, very closely contested, as we're going to see the position changes, if we can. Look to the bit start. Axel, very good start, 6 places up. United Bosnia losing a fair few, and then Harry and Warwick obviously losing 10 positions as well. As Major Falcon has lost quite a few at the back as well, just battling it out for Ghost Recon here. Swift just hits the back of the McLaren there. Just needs to watch out with that one a little bit more as we're heading down to the front of the race. Steven on those mediums has absolutely pulled away and is looking to extend this gap as much as he can now. We're going to have to look 39.9 solid time to start off with, as we've seen Axel and Mats, I think, heading down the grid. Must have been some sort of incident because they're free wide down into turn 1. That's a very tight line from Axel, very close there with Mats, but Mats just about holds on to that position. I think that Ibo just going around at the back, as that's I've said before a few times. Bosnia just keeps kind of losing positions. Jav in behind, Ultimate Mustapuro. Let's see if he can make some gains now that he's actually got a full session to work with. He's on the back of the Spaniards. Is he going to be able to get through as Jordan is getting past Orion B here? I think Mr. Pura is going to be able to get through here. As we're seeing Crack also being overtaken potentially. See if the Finnish guy can overtake the Spaniards. Just about a bit of contact, a little bit. But it looks like he can get the better exit. Jeff has a bit of a wiggle there on the inside, and that is going to allow him to get through. These two are still fighting it out for P2. But Ryan B has held on to that this time out. And is looking for an ending. But otherwise, we're seeing from the other Ryan B going a bit wide. Kevin Cal coming through. We're seeing one of McLaren's up the inside. It's Energetics and side by side now with him. Seeing more yellow flags. That's Slayer this time out, spinning around. To do advise drivers, by the way, to not retire in a pit. Just so we can measure the pace up properly and just have some sort of information about them. Which, even if you're at the back, you can still show your pace and that regards. Steban, false lap of the race once again. Ghost Recon has gone around, I think, the back here. As he is down in P18. Crack getting back through Ryan B. These two having a bit of a scrap here. And that's going to allow Jordan to potentially get alongside. But he's going to think better of it and back out of that one so far. So allows Kevin Cal to close back up to the back of Ryan B. 1994. And Jay Hings on the back of Axel here in P10 as well. Axel not really making the best of those medium tyres so far. Maybe just not able to get the best out of him, as the DRS is obviously now enabled. It's going to allow Ryan B to get back a Crack. And these two are going to continue the ding-dong battle. Is Jordan going to benefit off of it as well, though? He's looking for the outside, but I think he's going to think better of it this time as well. And just sets him behind. And he's going to go. And maybe he's going to try and do it here. Potentially a bit of a better exit from the Scotsman. Is he going to be able to get alongside? The slipstream for this part of the track is kind of mad, so let's hope the drivers can anticipate. Oh no, I've seen a bit of weaving here and there. I need to be careful with that. Just about all of them keep alive, but that was not very pleasant to look at. As these guys are all getting very close to getting Kevin Cal, the American as well, on the back of the Scotsman. And not quite able to make it through just yet on those mediums. He's going to want to benefit of that, as Steban has now pulled off a 2.5 second gap at the end of lap 3. Obviously that's partly due to the tyres as well and them scrapping in behind. But it's a good showing from the Dutchman so far. Looking at my bit of a gap between Matt and Jay Hings, but Jay Hings does set the fastest lap of the race, so he is looking to get maybe through, as we've seen a bit of a ding-dong battle between Axel and Bosnia here. I think Axel just got through Bosnia's rear and doesn't look very happy, and Ultimate Mr. Puro is getting through here, as he is moving up the grid now as well. Heading down towards P11 now already. Let's see if he can also get Axel. It's a bit of a lagging Alfa Romeo here. Let's see if he can get through without too many issues here. So the DRS will be open, and it should not be too difficult of a move. I see Mats and Energetics very close together as well, but I don't think we're going to see any move here. And Mr. Puro is through on Axel, and he's into P10. Let's see if he can close up his Axel. I don't know if he hit him in behind it. That was just a bit of lag. Couldn't really tell. Mats has a very good exit at turn 9, getting alongside Energetics, and that is a very good move by the Williams driver. I think he's going to get that complete, but it's still side by side actually for turn 10. Bit of contact here and there. And now into turn 11, who's going to get the better of him? Mats with the inside line should have the favourable, but he can hang it around to the outside there. Still side by side, good battling between the two of them, and Zebo's round at the back again. Mats holding that into turn 12 now, and he is going to get that P7. Good move, good battle between the two Dutchies there. But this is going to put him out of DRS, and that might allow Energetics to get back through, and Jay Hinks is lurking on the back end as well here to try and get through on the Dutchman, as he is now pulling alongside the Dutchman, and I think that's going to be a fairly easy move down towards turn 1. The Energetics backs out. Jay Hinks needs to watch out on the brakes, doesn't run into Mats. We see the first time penalty off track limits. It goes recon there. Gap is now between 2.5 seconds. Actually, Steban has a penalty as well. I didn't clock that at all. Yeah, he's now on 3 seconds as well, so he's going to have some work to do to make that strategy work. But he's not gaining on Ryan B here anymore, who seems to be very quickest at this point in time. And Jordan is looking to get through on track, maybe potentially not being too happy to get through with wheel to contact. Gotta be careful with that. But I think Jordan gets through quite cleanly there. Jay Hinks now getting through on Mats. Bit of contact, but I don't think there was too much nastiness going on there either. And Jay Hinks now up to P7, and he's looking very, very feisty. 4 places up from the start. Jaff getting a 3-second time penalty as well. He's hanging on to the back of Axel and United Bosnia. Here in P11, 12 and 13. Good little ding-dong between them. Baker Falcon is down into 14th. And I didn't really think he'd be that low down as Jav and Axel are going side by side. Jav going for that move. Is he going to be able to hold on to that? There's a switch away from it. Looking for a switch back onto turn 12, but that curve is not one to go onto. And has to concede that for now. But potentially getting back at that later as well, with Bosnia trying to get back into this DRS of the Finnish driver of Mr. Puro, who is closing to Energetics, who's not really been able to make a fitness race so far. Gap to front down to 2 seconds. And Jordan is looking like he wants to get past the Englishman as well. England versus Scotland is a very tasty battle in football usually, but this time we're going to see it out on track potentially. Have to see if Jordan is going to be close enough for any sort of move down towards turn 8, which is obviously the main overtaking spots, 3-4 tenths behind, which should allow him to potentially get through if he's going to use his ERS and DRS. Ryan B is noticed now, and he's going to defend towards the inside. I think Jordan has backed off of that one, not looking to get through. Ecos Mats getting back through on Jay Hinks. We're actually seeing them side by side in front. Jordan once again trying to counter and able to get through potentially, as he's on the back of the Englishman towards the outside of turn 10. We see some yellow flags. I think that's Axel going round, and he's down into 15-16, or at least he's straight on the chicane. We're looking at Jordan around the outside potentially at Ryan Belshaw, not quite able to move through. He's going to have to try out a later lap. And this is just all in favour of Steban, as he's able to pull away a little bit more and more. Because Matt's on the back of Jay Hinks once again, and just got back up to them. So he is maybe listening to me and thought, you know what, I'm going to show this guy I've got some pace. Let's see. Mr. Purse was a bit off time to the guys ahead, potentially as well, due to Energetics pushing a bit more. Not too sure. Gonna have to have a look at this as well. Matt's looking at the back of Jay Hinks as well. Potentially looking to get through, but not quite able to then towards turn 1. It's a difficult place to try and overtake if you try into turn 1. I think the better place are at turn 8 and maybe out of the chicane as well. The second part of the missile straight. And that is not being utilised this moment just yet by either of them. But they're getting close to the DRS of the other Ryan B in 6th position. Bit of a quiet race so far. He's just kind of in the middle of these two trains. As we're looking at Mats here on the back of Jay Hinks, potentially able to get through. Jordan at the front of this train as well. He is going to able to get through. A bit of wheel banging. Ryan B moving across a little bit. Jordan late on the brakes and is going to get that move done nice and cleanly, and is gonna get through here as well. Jay Hinks losing 2 positions on that straight, and that just shows the power of the DRS and the slipstream, because Ryan B is going to counter and come back at Jordan potentially here. Coming through turn 10, Jordan blocking that and using his Mercedes to the full width of his car. Looking at Ryan Belshaw, he's looking around the outside. He's going to be able to get through, not quite. Going to have to switch back potentially, but I don't think he's close enough to get any move done down into turn 12. Has to just stick in mind. And while they're doing this, they're catching Steban, who is now probably aiming for his tyres, but he has a lot of ERS to use. 80% he's still on, with Jordan and Ryan B. Well, Jordan especially is on a lot lower levels of ERS, and that is unfortunate to see for them. We're just looking in turn 9, actually. That is Axel round once again. I think much like Austria, he's not quite enjoying it so far. Equals Mats is looking to get a move done on Ryan B 1994 though, and that's a solid move from the Dutchman. He's up at the P6, and he's going to hold on to that so far, at least against the Mercedes, who seems to be struggling a bit more than the peers around him. Just off the start, not right off. We'll have to see. Maybe towards the second part of the race, he's going to be able to get closer. But it's good to see most of this train, apart from, you know, maybe Ghost, Recon, Ivo, and Axel at the back, not quite able. There's not any huge gaps just yet, so that's good to see. A few 2-3 second gaps. We've seen Axel with a speeding penalty coming in. Let's hope it's not going to be the end of him, but we'll have to see about that as Ryan B has gone through back into P2. We've seen some battles down the grid as well. Swip and Harry Noark. And are getting through. I think their soft tires have given up completely at this point. I don't expect them to be any good, but you know, could prove me wrong. Saw some battles between California and Slayer as well going on. Looking at the front once again, Steve is still holding on to this. So he's still on a fair amount of ERS as well, which is, you know, gotta take credit for that. He's doing quite well. Jay Hings on the back of Energetics very close to him. So Energetic going wide, and might allow Jay Hings to counter on the exit here then towards turn 1. As he's opened up the DRS, but I don't think he's gonna want to make a move because Energetic still has DRS to play with as well. And he's gonna defend that quite easily. No real challenge from Jay Hings, but maybe on the exit here, as we've seen Energetic go wide a bit. And I think there's a battle we need to look out for. Make a Falcon moving through on Jav here into P12. So Jav is on the back of him once again, getting alongside. And he's going to make that switchback work. Very nice job by Jav. And he's going to hold on to P12 here. But how much longer? As Ryan B, I think, has had a spin, or at the moment, half spin. He's able to recover a little bit, but has lost a good few seconds here. And is now behind Energetic and Jay Hings. Speaking of which, look at Jay Hings. He's going for that move. And he's completing that move. He's up into P7 this time out. And going to try to recatch Ecos Mats, who's pulled away a couple of seconds. As we're looking on the back as well, Kevin, Cal, Crack, Jordan, Ryan B, Steve, and the top 5 here in reverse order. So seeing Swift potentially trying to counter with Harry Noark, but not quite able to do it so. He's going to have to wait, and potentially pit stops as well. I think we're not too far off even the medium pit stops. I'm surprised these guys on the softs are still out. But yeah, gonna have to see what tire everyone goes on to. I'm expecting many medium hards and hard mediums, but you know, anyone such as Ecop Mats who likes to do a different strategy, who knows what we're gonna see there. More yellow flags for Axel. Yeah, he's just not enjoying his time right now on track. There's a gap to the credit of Steban. I think he's used a little bit more now, but even then, he's still on 67% ERS here, coming through turn 2. He's doing quite well as Ryan B has now equalized his stands on their penalties. And that is kind of devastating for himself, because there's quite a few guys in behind that are able to move through. Just checking the ERS levels of these guys, all below 50%, so they haven't been sleeping completely. United Bosnia and Ultimate Mustapuro very close together. Bosnia and him as well, both living in the Nordic countries, so Sweden versus Finland in a way. Bosnia is obviously from Bosnia, but you know, like Ibrahimovic, he's doing this quite well. Steban, another 3-second time penalty, and he's got to watch out for those track limits. His pace is very solid so far, but you got to keep it within the wide lines to achieve that pace, and you know, do quite well. Jordan is now looking for a move on Ryan B once again. We've seen these two battle it out already for the last 10 laps. Let's see if Jordan is going to be able to make that one work, but not so far. So just about missing out on that DRS from Steban this time out. Energetics and Jahing still very close together. Mr. Puro and Bosnia as well. And Jaff and Major Falcon basically going side by side through turn 10. Jaff just backing out there. Is he going to be able to make that work? Let's see. So we've seen a nice little camera here, I have to be honest. He's gonna stick him behind there, and sorry about getting a 3-second time penalty as well. No pit stop just yet in the top 10. Mr. Burrow looking for a move, but not quite able to get one done just yet. Jordan still on the back of this Mercedes. He's been able to regain more ERS now, and he's now slightly more than Ryan B, but not too much difference. Jay Hings also a penalty here. So that just proves that this track is just a very difficult one to keep it on track, especially with the changed pad in pits. I don't know how it is on wheel, honestly, but again, I can't imagine it's too easy of a track to keep it on track. Nice wording there, but I can imagine that, you know, sometimes you're kind of surprised by the amount of like steering input you get through certain corners, and that might allow you to cut it a bit easier. So yeah, especially compared to last game where the car felt so heavy that wasn't doable. Also, Mr. Furrow is easy to move in through on United Bosnia. That's got some interesting connection, I can't lie there. That's not looking amazing. But you know, hopefully that is not too much of an issue on track. Maybe it's a bit amplified in the spectator cam as well. So see now Ryan B is called Steban. I think this might be the lap where we're seeing the Alpine in the pits. I have a feeling that he's going to. So Mr. Furrow is now moving back through Bosnia, the side by side, coming through turn 11. Let's hope that they all make it out alive. We're not seeing any pit stops yet from the top guys, and they're gonna remain out there as Bosnia is staying ahead of the Finnish guy, of Mr. Furrow. Ryan B on the back of Steban. Is he gonna be able to make a move? Not down into turn 1. Maybe later on in this race and on this lap even, he could go for a move. Still seeing the lights of Swips out on track as well. Are they trying to do soft medium even potentially? Because that would be a very daring strategy. But I respect it if they do. As we've seen these guys all in the train for the top 5. It's very good to see the close pace at least. Heading down towards turn number 8. As we're seeing Ryan B on the back of Steban. He's going to make this move for the late, and I don't think Steban has anything to fight him with. As he's going to stick him behind now. And yeah, that's going to remain it for now. And let's see, because Jordan is... If Steban doesn't pin the next few laps, then Jordan needs to get past Steban as soon as he can. Because, you know, Steban could be a very dangerous candidate here. If he's trying medium soft, and he can allow Ryan B to potentially get away on those dying mediums. But he's keeping up so far decently. Axel around once again. I'm going to see him actually get lapped. It's very sad, honestly. But yeah, nothing better to say about that. Steban, if he's going to come into the pits. No, he's remaining out here. So I reckon we're going to see a move from Jordan down towards turn 1, because he almost has to. Kevin Cal's the first one that goes into pits. He's going for a medium hard strategy here. There's no way he's taking the soft 15 laps anyway. We'll confirm that in just a second. As we're seeing Jordan on the back of Steban. I think he should have gone for the move there. To be honest, I think that is the time you want to make that move, because if Steban is much slower for this part, he's going to lose touch with Ryan Belshaw, and Belshaw might smell the opportunity to get away from these guys and not give him DRS anymore. If he's quick enough, he can remain that. Major Falcon also in for a medium hard strategy. As we're seeing, the pit crew work quite well. That's a bit of a slow one actually, which is unfortunate to see. Ghost Recon back as well. And I'm curious what he's going to do in the entire strategy. Steban has caught back up with Ryan B, so no move from Jordan just yet. But that's a very interesting strategy Steban's doing. Either he's going so long on the hard that Ryan Belshaw has gone a bit deep, and that's going to allow Steban to get alongside. We've seen the fight to the lead from Jordan's POV here. Jordan is going to close up to the both of them as well to head down side by side down into turn 10. That's going to be very close together. Jordan has a beautiful run with a lot of slipstream, but just kind of gets caught up at the wrong time. And is going to have to remain in behind. RT Crack is looking towards the inside here as well. Jordan leaves enough space, but gets a better exit, so keeps ahead. We saw Energetics, I think, going in for a move on Jayhings as well in the meantime. Just to note that then as well. Ghost Recon is in fact going for the medium, so he's doing a soft medium strategy as we're seeing Steban, I think, this lap into the pits. And that is going to be hard, I reckon. I doubt we'll see softs. I'd be highly suspicious of that if I've seen the soft setup tyre. James on the back of Energetics now. Energetics having a bit of a poor exit. So seeing Ryan B coming in as well. They're very early from the hards. That's going to be onto the mediums, I reckon. Might have watched Lobby 1. Saw a few drivers doing that as well. And yeah, there's a few more higher to work. And a 5 second speeding pen as well. Not optimal for the Greek. He's going to put himself down a little bit with that. Yeah, Ryan B has gone onto medium. So no surprise there. Steban onto hards. Let's see where they come out. And look at that. Kevin Cal has actually managed to jump Steban. So that undercut is really, really powerful. We saw this in the other lobbies as well. But yeah, again, amplified. 1.5 seconds here coming down towards turn 3. And the American might have timed this really well. No penalties to name either. So he could have a good chance of winning this one out here. You're going to have a look as the top guys are still obviously going to go to the mediums. And that is going to, you know, be the better tire in the second half of the race. And especially Ryan B 1994. I'm curious what he's going to do. I'm curious if this undercut is going to pay off. I know those mediums eventually, you know, when they're a bit older, they're going to drop off as well. It'll be interesting to see how that's going to go. Look at Mr. Purro and Bosnia, they're still together. And I think Mr. Purro will go for a pit stop very soon as well. As he's heading down towards turn number 12 and 13 here. Mats is in. Top guy's not in. Yellow flags. I'm not too sure what for. I can't find it. Because Mats, it might have been Axel again actually. I'm not too sure. I don't want to put the blame on him, but you know, it couldn't really find anyone else. Seeing the Ecos Mats in the pits, that's going to be for mediums. I think this might be the right time to pit. And let's see where he comes out in comparison to Ryan B 1994, who was behind Energetics and Jings, I believe. I might be wrong. Like, fastest lap for Kevin Cal. And he's now right behind Jav here, trying to get through on him. Jav on all the hards, and it's going to be very close together. Down towards turn number 3. Bit of lag as well, I think. Not ideal for the American. As he's heading through, as Jordan is moving through into P1 here, move for the lead. Ryan B just hit him in the back. I think he was too late on the brakes. Just looking from that. And Jordan is going to hold on to P1, and I reckon we're going to see a pit stop very soon from him. The strategy on the bottom says they're going in. Let's see if they actually follow up. They could go a bit longer. Let's see. Brian Belshell looking to get back at the Scotsman. Not quite able to move through on him. He's going to remain in behind for now as well. Jay Hings, same question, same answer there with Energetics in behind. Nikos Mats, he's only 3 seconds behind Steban, and you wonder, where are the guys like Jordan going to come out? Are they going to be ahead of Mats or behind him? As we've seen, IT Crack coming in. Top 2 staying out actually. And I think Energetics is moving in as well. Jay Hings staying out. I think we're going to see Bosnia and Mr. Purro as well. Is Mr. Purro trying a medium soft potentially? That'd be, again, a very impressive strategy to pull off. I just don't know if it's the quicker strategy. We'll have to wait and see, apparently. That's Ryan Belshaw. Once again, picking up 3-second time penalties now, 6 seconds as well. Steban is moved and got, you know, a new fastest lap as well with Ryan B 1994, a bit quicker fastest lap. And look at that undercut he got on Energetics, quite a bit as we've seen in Yellow Flags. Once again Axel, and yeah, just not this day. Ryan Belshaw moving back through, and Jordan, feisty battle between these two. And it's gonna look like Ryan Belshaw is moving through, and is he gonna pit? Are they gonna pit this lap then? I'm gonna be very much on the lookout for that. Eagles Mats and the IT Crack moving side by side, almost here into turn 8. It's the American, well, I don't know what nationality is, to be honest. Could be English, not too sure. Let's see, he's caught up to the back of both Williams, and it's going to look like Mats is going to move through on Jav here, and IT Crack is looking to get through here as well. Where is the gap going to be? He's going to be on the inside next to Jav. He's going to be able to move through there. And he's up into P9. Another penalty, but this time for speeding in the pit lane for Ryan Belshaw. Jordan pitting as well as Jay Hings. As well is Bosnia. And Mr. Purro, still knows mediums, is going to stay out. Those mediums must be shot at this point. He's going to use the DRS to compromise for that. We'll have to see mediums for all these guys. Not surprising, and that's going to allow Mr. Puro to come up into the lead. And where's Kevin Cal going to come out? And he's going to be way ahead for Ryan Belshaw. Steven is there as well. Mats has moved through. IT Crack with Ryan B, and that's going to be Jav alongside there. Jav on the older hard tire, still not pitted either. And he's going to be at the front of this basically favourites group with Belshaw and Jordan moving in behind. So let's see if Jav's going to be any obstacle here. So look, as we're heading down into turn 6. And the Mercedes and the Red Bull are probably very eager to get through. Can't be stuck behind Jav for too long. Apologies for that. As Steban is moving through and Kevin Cal, seen Axel in the middle of him. As they are moving through in the hards. And let's see how much they're going to hold on. As we're seeing IT cracking it. Matt, I reckon they've had some contact looking at this position on track. They can't blame anyone directly for that. But that's unfortunate to see. They were very close together. I suspect they had some contact. And yeah, that just kind of happens in racing every now and then. Jordan looking towards the outside of Ryan Belshaw. Again, just kind of hitting the back of him. I'm not too sure if that's just, you know, there's different lines, different speeds trying to take it. Obviously, in a lobby 4, you're going to have that a little bit. But, you know, it's a bit unfortunate one. Don't want to see the contact. We see 5 seconds speeding pen for Mr. Purr as well. He's moving into the pits. Are we going to see the soft tire come out for the Finn? I reckon it is going to be that red wall color tire. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can make those last a decent amount. He's going to be the only one on the grid on those tires. But, yeah, very good as we've seen Matt and Ryan B 1994 side by side come for 1 and 2. Very much respect between them. And Matt is going to be able to move through, but Ryan B has the inside. It's going to be very close together. Make sure you don't tangle each other. And Matt is moving through. Good move for the Williams, and a lot of respect between them two. Have to applaud them for that. That's we're getting a bit of an audio glitch there. So we're going to see. Seeing Kevin Cal on the back of Steban once again. Them two still in the lead. Ryan Belshaw and Jordan 3 seconds behind that, and then it's Jav still out the pit as we're looking at Matt looking towards the outside here. Going to be able to move through. Yes, he has a lot more grip on those medium tires, and around the outside he is. And we're going to see Ryan B and 90 Crack probably going through as well as Energetics and J Hinks, as they're all so close together. Looking at IT Crack, Jav, Ryan B, this whole group together as it comes through turn 10. How's this going to go? So seeing Ryan B at this group, probably the one to make it a move, and Jav just not enough speed carries for a think. And I think that's just caused Ryan B to go into the back of him. Just the difference of the tyre speed might have caused that a little bit, but not taken into consideration, unfortunately, for maybe either driver. Not too sure. And moving back to the front, how I said the half lap it was 3 seconds, is now under 2, and these mediums look to be really good for these guys so far. Ryan Belshaw and Jordan. Now, are they going to be able to move through on the top few guys? Steban and Kevin Cal. Obviously, the penalty is going to play a factor. Ryan Belshaw on 11 seconds with that speeding pen as well, with Steban on 6 seconds. It's going to move him down a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see how that's going to go. And Jordan holding tight on P4, but Ryan Belshaw looks like he wants to drop him, and he's going to get some DRS here actually from Ivo. So he's being called lucky with that. Kevin Cal, he's just outside of DRS of Steban, so Steban is on a slightly fresher hearts, been able to move through, see more yellow flags. That is the Haas of Axel, I think, once again. And Ghost Recon moving through and Swip for P17. As we're looking down, Slayer and California side by side, moving to battle here as well. As I think the Dutchman is moving on to the Englishman. And he's going to get through here quite easily, actually. No real harm there done. Ryan Belshaw on the back of Kevin Cal. He's already there. Those mediums are working like an absolute treat. So seeing Energetics and Ryan B 1994 very close together as well. 2 Red Bulls here, side by side, nearly down into turn 14. But where are you going to make this move? Are you going to wait for the straight, or are you so desperate that you're going to dive it? He's going to look for it. Kevin Cal gives him the space to do that. And Ryan Belshaw moving through on to P2. Jordan immediately following him. And now it's just a hunt up to Steban. 1.2 seconds, and I think they'll be there at the end of this lap, even if not even earlier. Energetic moving through, and Ryan B 1994 there for P7. As now Jay Hings is trying to move through as well here on the Englishman. Actually gonna have 5 seconds speeding penalty, yeah. At this point I wouldn't be surprised if he retires, and I wouldn't even be that mad, but you know, I think cracking Mats are also looking to battle once again. That's done before. Look a bit ropey on the rear end, therefore the AlphaTauri as Ryan Belshaw has actually moved into the lead here. And I reckon we'll see a move from Jordan coming out of the chicane as well, if he can get close enough. Jay Hings getting through Ryan B 1994. IT Crack and Matt going side by side into that chicane. After going side by side out of the chicane nearly. Matt is still ahead, but the slipstream for Crack will help him try and get back at the Dutchman as he's looking to move through. Not quite able to. Let's have a look at Jordan as well, up here in P3. And he's going to have to get past Steban, but obviously with the penalty I think he doesn't have any hurry to get through. He's just going to maintain his own pace. I'm going to have a look if he's going to be able to do that. And the exit of turn 15, heading down towards turn 1. Steven will still have some DRS and ERS to play with, so the Dutchman is trying to stick it ahead. Scotsman is not really bothering with it so far, and that's how we know Jordan. He's not gonna haste into those moves and rush into them. And I think especially knowing with the Pens, he has no reason to really rush into them. We've seen Energetics Crack, and Matt's very close together with Jay Hings in behind as well. Ryan B has lost a bit of time, potentially making a mistake. A bit of contact, not too sure. Jay Hings looking for a move down into turn 3. That'd be a very good one. Yes, it is. Good committed from Jay Hings, and credits to Energetics for giving this space there as well. This is P5 to P8 battle marches on. We're seeing Jordan go for a move on Steban. I don't think Steban has anything to fight with. And the Scotsman is going to be able to move through on the Dutchman, who's driven a very good race, you have to say. But potentially not the right strategy, and potentially not the right track limits. But other than that, yeah, he's done very, very solid. I've seen Harry Ark pick up a time penalty there as well. He's on 23 seconds actually. Might want to try doing it disqualified as Jay Hings is now moving through on IAT Crack. That's 2 moves in 1 lap. Is he going to make it free, trying to move through on Nico's Mats, or is he going to wait that out till the next lap, as he looks to be the quickest out of this group. Energetics potentially moving through as well, and Crack looking to get very close to the back of the AlphaTauri. Not quite able to move through. Gonna have 6 laps remaining in this race, and on track is a battle between Ryan Belshaw and Jordan, but Jordan looked like, you know, with the penalties included, he is going to win that quite easily, and no real harm done. This train of 4 is interesting to me. They've been, you know, mostly very respectful. I think there's been a bit of an incident between Mats and Crack, but I don't reckon that was out of any harm meant. But yeah, you never know, I guess. So Ryan Belshaw is trying to get loose of Jordan. And looking to have some very solid pace here, the Red Bull, but is he going to be able to carry that on into the final few laps? We'll have to see if Jordan wants to do it on track as well. That'd be amazing to see, obviously. So obviously it doesn't go for any points just yet, so you know the pride might be still there on it. Jay Hings moving through a Mats, not too much of a surprise. Energetics also having the ERS to move through on IAT Crack, who's I think bleeding out of ERS. He's trying to get back at the Dutchman, but doesn't have any sort of momentum to carry through the second part of that chicane, and he's going to be set in behind the Dutchman. Watching maybe the 2 Dutchies fight again. They did that before this race, and maybe that's going to happen again. Let's see if Energetics wants to get through on Matt very soon. Moving back to the front of Jordan. This audio crackling you're hearing is the game, obviously. Codemasters is not amazing the last few years. So Steven unfortunately has lost touch a little bit, and it's going to drop behind Kevin Cowell, but you know, he's still driven a very good race. Let's see if he can hold on to that 5-second gap. He's still in P3 on track. Nico's Matt still in behind Jay Hings. He's not really looking to move through just yet. He's looking in behind as well. It gives them some attention. Bosnia just kind of driven a quiet race after the first few laps. Had a minor bit of incidents. Not a great start, but you know he's carried his own pace through. He's in P10 as of right now. Mr. Burrow doing his medium soft strategy. I don't know if it's really working. I'm gonna check his fastest lap. At 33.5, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that's working too well right now, but I might be wrong. This can occur obviously. Harno Arc, quiet race, low penalties, but you know, happens every now and then. I guess we've seen him go off wide a ways there. That's unfortunate to see. His ultimate Mr. Burrow has actually left the session, so that connection is not looking amazing. It's obviously the start of that either, as Ryan B is actually spun round here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's gonna lose just the position to United Bosnia, and ultimate Mr. Burrow. Well, has some lag, and his Ghost car is still in front, but might be able to move quite easily back. On to that, I have a further look. Slayer just kind of remaining in this P13, P14 sort of battle. He's been in all race. Not doing too shabby. As Ryan B is moving back through on the AI car of Mr. Puro. Slayer, very quiet race after having an early spin. California, very quiet race. I feel like I've barely seen him. As we're seeing Ryan B actually pit another time. I don't know what that is going to be for, if that's to retire in the pits or that he's going to pit for a set of softs for the ends, just to have some fun with it. Slayer, California, we talked about. Jav had his time just kind of holding up some people. I reckon he enjoyed that a lot. As we're seeing, going to move on. Jordan is trying to go for the move on Ryan Belshaw. Not quite able to move through. Goes Recon having a few early incidents. He's just not enjoying it right now so far. Swip is closed in. Again, don't feel like I've seen him that much. I don't think he's chosen the right strategy either with his soft medium. Major Falcon, I'm honestly kind of baffled as to where he is. Has he potentially made another stop that I've kind of missed? Yeah, yes. So that has lost him quite a lot of time. If you remove like 20 seconds, you get him around Jav. Ivo and Axel, I mean, they've just been kind of driving around the back and not really enjoying their time. As we're moving back towards the front, Jordan is still behind Ryan Belshaw, so this group of 4 is still together. But they've now called Kevin Cal actually, so this could be interesting towards the end of the race, because I don't think those mediums are going to be in optimal condition, but those hards are not going to be in optimal condition either. So it'll be very interesting to see. Slay is moving past Mr. Pur's AI car now as well. Matt is looking to get through. He's obviously the one without penalties that could move through on Kevin Cal. And Energetics in behind that as well, potentially trying to get through on the Red Bull. So they've kind of just been together all race. Very good to see the battles forming out there. Equals Matt's on the back here of J Ings, Kevin Cal. Let's see if we're going to see any move down towards turn 8. Getting 17 people watching now. That's a new high this stream anyway. Thank you all. So Jay Hinks is now trying to get that move done on Kevin Cal towards the outside here. Is he going to be able to make that one stick? Yes, he is. Quite easily the Alpinians move through on the Red Bull. And Eagles Matt is the next one up. And let's see if Kevin Cal has anything to counter with, but it doesn't look like it. And Eagles Matt's in that slipstream is looking like he wants to close up that gap right away. So heading down towards turn 11. Is he going to be able to move through? Not quite. He's going to just about back off of that one. Energetics on the back as well of Eagles Matt. Not quite a move this time out, and Kevin Cal is able to stick with Jay-Hing, so we could see a move here back into P4 for the Red Bull very soon. We'll have to see about that. So Red Bull is lining up towards the penultimate lap of the race. We'll have to see if we're going to see any battles on track as well between Ryan Belshaw and Jordan potentially. So Steban is kind of in the middle of nowhere there, just worrying about his penalty situation. Some yellow flags, Axel round, I think, Swift round, unfortunately, as well. Near the back of the grids, they've kind of just moved together, I think. As, Ryan Belshaw looks to be very good in that Sector 1, and just able to pull away a little bit as Matt has gone through, and Kevin Cal potentially making a mistake there. Not too sure how that's happened. But yeah, he's down at P6, and that's going to allow Mats to challenge for P4 on track if he wants to. DRS will be open. He's going to have 2 laps remaining. He's moving that TRS up. So Energetics is moving through, and Kevin Gal as well. So those hearts are really not onto it anymore. It takes like a penalty for Axel's obviously completely bullshit. As Mr. Burrow is joined back, but you know he's moved down into P14 unfortunately now. We'll see if Ryan B gets the fast lap if he didn't get it already. 32.5, just not quite on it right now. Seeing Energetics on the back of Matt. To be honest, another 10-second penalty for Axel. I'm not too sure what's going on with him here. So seeing how it works so close to the back of Slayer as well. That's he's gonna retire in the pits. I think this is actually allowed double shot to get some DRS. So Jordan is not going to be able to do it on the track unless he, you know, gets past him down towards turn 8. I don't think he's going to be close enough though. Second is very difficult to bridge in his sector. But who knows? We've seen it before. Let's see. It's a battle for P4 though. We're heading into the final lap. Is anyone going to be able to move through on this fine ship? Jay Hinks, Mats and Energetics, and Kevin Cal is actually dropped out of DRS now. IT Crack might have a little crack at that. Sorry for the horrendous pun. We're gonna look. Jordan is out of DRS, so yeah, he's just kind of content for now. He's gonna sit in P2. He's gonna win the race, obviously, on pens. Ironwork still behind Slayer. Experiencing battle there, but I think the main focus here, Matt, look back at Jay Hinks to the inside to be able to make that one stick. I think there's no contest there. He moves across quite swiftly there. Got me almost being offense. Not going to mention that too much. Energetic looking to move through as well. Is he going to be able to do that? It looks like he's helped him quite a lot, and he's going to move to the inside. Is he going to be able to move through on Mats as well? Getting alongside here. That's a very good move from the Dutchman if he can do that. He's been very patient, but waiting it out, and they might have done it, but I think Mats is just about going to hold on to that position. So he looks back up the inside. Going to have to switch on as they spin around, actually make a bit of contact. I think Mats lost the traction and then just got caught up with Energetic's wheel. Seeing the first few guys run across the line. Ryan Belshaw, but Jordan taking the win eventually. Steban is going to finish home in P3, I think. Yep. And Jay Hinks in behind as well. I've seen a few of the guys just going down the grid a little bit. Jay Hinks actually ending up in P3. Steban moving a bit. And now actually Energetics, who's on penalties, just about nabbed that P3 from Jay Hinks and then Steban. And then United Bosnia in a quiet race. This is going to actually put IT Crack as a DNF and move him down the grid, but he was actually up in P9, so that's something we should know once this is going on. Slayer and Harry Noark, P10 and 11, California in P12, and Ryan B with an extra pit stop in P13. Ultimate Mr. Puro in P14 with Falcon, Ghost Recon. Jav is also left, I think, so that's, yeah, gonna promote him back up. Swift is in 18th and Ibba 19th, Axel 20th, so yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm seeing Lobby 2 had their enjoyment as well. That's very fortunate. Yeah, that doesn't look amazing. These Lobby 4, to the most part, generally, they're very good. And yeah, the old essence obviously happens. The old penalty obviously happens, but, you know, generally, it's been a fun race to commentate on, actually. And to do a solo com on. It's usually quite difficult to do it, but there's been constant action here. Apart from a few laps here and there. So there's always something to talk about, and there's always something to admire. And driver of the day goes to Joe Hinks. Obviously, that is all subjective. But I'm going to close the stream there on the end now. I'll just show the results, and that will be it. So, yeah, once again, just moving through. Ryan Bellshot taking the fastest lap home. Just about up the other Ryan B. Very close. He got IT Crack. Supposed to be in P9. His time is adjusted, but his position isn't, so If you're watching that back and you wonder why he's down there, that is because he left quite early. Well, see you next time, and that is it for me.